German MEP Nicholas Fest has blasted Germany over potential mandatory vaccination after European Commission Chief Ursula von der Leyen hinted at the introduction of compulsory jabs for the whole of the bloc. German MEP Nicholas Fest revealed that he is not in favor of making vaccination mandatory in the European Union. European Commission Chief Ursula von der Leyen dropped a bombshell on Wednesday, announcing that it was time to think about mandatory vaccination once and for all to reduce the spread of the highly contagious Omicron variant. And in what may have been her final act before stepping down as Chancellor, Angela Merkel backed mandatory jabs, claiming that Germany could follow in Austria's footsteps from February. Mr. Fest also lavished praise on the UK for their beneficial decision to walk out on the EU with the Brexit vote, thus avoiding a potential EU-wide diktat for mandatory jabbing. Mr. Fest told Talk Radio's Ian Collins, "That's unheard of. I think as MP Smith already said, the freedom of choice is paramount." Mr. Fest could not get his head around such drastic measures as he described mandatory vaccination as a dangerous development and insisted that freedom of choice should always prevail. He continued, "But Ursula von der Leyen is following what the new coalition government and Germany are now starting to debate, with the clear aim of getting mandatory vaccinations. And of course, she is following this path and trying to have this imposed all over the EU. I can only say congratulations to your country that you left the EU. Germany will impose an advent lockdown on the 31.6% unvaccinated Germans until Christmas. They will be banned from pubs, gyms, restaurants, cinemas, theaters, events, and non-essential shops. This should encourage vaccinate uptake and leave the anti-vaxxers with their backs against the wall and with no choice but to finally take the plunge if they want to continue living a normal life." Mrs. von der Leyen announced that the EU must consider mandatory vaccination on the back of a new Omicron variant which is keeping the world in a state of suspense. "We have the vaccines, the life-saving vaccines, but they are not being used adequately everywhere. And this costs. This is an enormous health cost coming along." Chancellor Merkel then warned that a national lockdown lies in store for those who refuse the jab, as sings from the same hymn sheet as the incoming government and successor Olaf Scholz when it comes to making jab mandatory. She said, "The fourth wave must be broken," she said. "In view of this, it is necessary to make vaccination compulsory. We all hope it would be better accepted on a voluntary basis." But these comments are a far cry from the summer when she promised Germans, there will be no compulsory vaccination. Data from the European Centre for Disease Prevention and Control shows that 68.4% of the German population is fully vaccinated.